ozone is becoming a bigger issue to people. We are getting more calls about it all the time, so that's an indication of the fact that it's becoming more of an interest to people. So we did the promo for a couple of reasons. One, to tell people that, yes, this is something that we know about, that we address, and it's also kind of an explainer. In that promo, I did talk about how the fact that the colors kind of look like Doppler colors, how green isn't so bad, but it goes on up to red, and that's not so good. And I think that really hits home with a lot of people, and it's really easy to see where it's bad. Ozone occurs naturally in the atmosphere, but when it gets hotter, the ozone levels go up. And that is a big concern for a lot of people when you start getting those hot days. It's interesting, you can track these little areas almost like it's on Doppler radar, and we color it the same way. Green is fine, but yellow and orange, not so good. The ozone levels really start to spike up in the mid to late afternoon, and we'll show people where we're having the highest concentrations of ozone on the air, especially during our 5 and 6 o'clock news.
MarkFinan, AMS meteorologist on KCRA3.
You know, when we do have those afternoons when the ozone is bad, when the temperature's up around 105, you can just, I wouldn't have gotten these calls 5 years ago, but I get calls from people that have, should we have soccer practice this afternoon? You know, we're in Folsom. Should we have soccer practice this afternoon at 5 o'clock? You know, I run a daycare center. Should the kids be going out this afternoon? Those are calls we wouldn't have gotten 5 years ago, but now that people have seen the movies, I think that that's why they do call. And so the promo is basically just trying to tell people that, yeah, we're just, you know, this is something we're doing. This is something that's of an interest to us. And just because it's not going to rain for the next 4 months, you still have a reason to watch the weather every night.
Yes, today as well, and tomorrow we'll be dealing with spare the air type conditions along with triple-digit heat. The hot weather definitely back in Northern California today. We saw temperatures close to 100 degrees. We'll be seeing another very warm and dry day tomorrow. And yes, another spare the air day. Ground level ozone, a real concern as we made our way through this afternoon. This is when ozone becomes oh no zone as it starts to pop up there into the orange and red. Unhealthy for sensitive groups. Look how wide the area becomes right around 5 o'clock. This is all the way out to Davis, up toward the foothills, and even some red around Rockland and Folsom. For this reason, tomorrow we'll probably see a similar pattern with the worst of the ozone picking up between 3, 4, and 5 o'clock tomorrow. Spare the air day for tomorrow. Sacramento up to 150 on the AQI index, 129 for Stockton.
The most critical time for air quality is between, let's say, 3 and 6, 3 and 7 in the afternoon, and we have newscasts at 4:30 and 5 and 6 and 6:30, so we're on the air during that critical time. So if the most recent product that we could have is very key to us, because what I want to be able to do is go on the air at 5 o'clock and say, right now in Folsom you have unhealthy levels of ozone. I don't want to say at 6 o'clock or 6:30, well, yeah, look at that. At 5 o'clock, an hour ago, you had unhealthy air. I want to be able to say right now, or as close as we can get, to say, yes, right now you have unhealthy air. Because other than that, we're not really doing anybody any favors. If we can't tell people what's going on right now, or what's going to happen for their location, we aren't doing them any favors. If we tell them 3 hours later, oh, by the way, you guys had some bad ozone 3 hours ago, you shouldn't have been outside, we're not doing anybody any good at all.
But the Sacramento Air Quality Management District issuing a health advisory earlier this afternoon and still continuing at least for the next 25 minutes for the areas you see right there: Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, North Highlands, and Slough House. That for levels of ground level ozone which will be unhealthy for all groups. You're urged to avoid outdoor activity at least for the next half hour or so, as that ground level ozone should continue to diminish as we go through the rest of the evening. So that is the big story in terms of our air quality issues.
First of all, it's important to remember that television is very visual. And that's one reason why the air quality movies have really taken this a step beyond the old bar graphs that we used to do with just a forecast for that day saying, yes, it went up to this level. The ozone movies, they animate, they have colors, they are local so that you can see which communities are being affected. And I think that that's what would be key to any weathercast, is if you have a threat that is in the air, it's an airborne threat, if you will, that is a product that you can put on the air, and it's timely, and it is as big a threat as thunderstorms are. They might not be as sexy as thunderstorms, but you know, if you don't have a cloud in the sky, but you've got a hot day and you've got high levels of ozone, this is basically what a meteorologist should have on the air. let's put it this way. If there's a threat to your viewers and you know about it, then you're obligated to tell them.